This is one of the older Model 3 Performances worth around $18,500, and this is the brand new 2024 Tesla Model 3 Performance. In this video, I'm going to show you basically what has changed between the two of these. I'm going to do a 60-second sponsored advertisement. I'm going to drive both of them. I'm going to do a sound and efficiency test, and then I'm going to tell you if I think it's worth the upgrade to spend all the extra money on this over this. Now, these can legitimately be had for $18,500, not wrecked, but the mileage is fairly high. This model here is a 2020. It's worth about $25,000 to $30,000. $25,000 seems to be the number that people are openly willing to pay for it, no questions asked. $30,000 is on the high end, but it's red, it has the sport dark wheels, it only has 31,000 miles on it, and it's in excellent shape. The owner of this is getting rid of it, and he just bought a Taycan turbo wagon, and it's sick. Things that they've changed. We're gonna start up front with the obvious. New headlights, old headlights. The Model 3 Performance now has a bespoke front bumper. This differentiates from what the current long range and standard range models look like. There's also a diffuser up front here. These wheels, the sport dark wheels, this is my favorite Tesla Model 3 Performance wheel. It looks amazing, but it weighs 28.75 pounds. This wheel here, my last, I think, 10 videos, I've slurred words, so I am struggling, but I'm working on it. This wheel here is a truly forged performance wheel weighing at only 21 pounds. That is awesome to have that coming from the factory. It does a couple things. It lets you accelerate faster, get a little bit better efficiency, and it also lets the suspension work more effectively because it's less unsprung weight, which puts less pressure on the suspension, lets it do its job, and not handle these big fat American McDonald's eating pigs over here. You can also see that this is the Tri-Coat red. I think it was called Tri-Coat, and this is the new Ultra Red. As we move down the side here, they've upgraded the camera systems. The mirror caps actually look totally the same. And they've also upgraded the glass on the vehicle. So you can see here that this is just a single pane piece of glass here. Okay, see that? Single. Now, we go back here, and you can see that this is a double paned piece of glass with a sound layer in between to reduce the sound in the cabin. Now that is on 360 acoustic sound. Over here, totally covered the vehicle, which is really nice. Some other changes are on the interior. There's no shift stalks on the new Performance model, and the seats are now a bespoke heated and cooled performance seat. It looks amazing. There are also different carbon fiber spoilers on these, and the rear of the new Model 3 Performance is amazing because it has a usable diffuser and this ludicrous badge, which makes no sense, but the badge is really cool. The other thing to note is this Model 3 does not have a power trunk, so you hit the button here, it releases, but does not go up. This one over here, you just tap the button and that goes up and down. Now the nice thing is for $300 in the Tesla shop, you can actually get an automatic opening and closing trunk, and that is perfectly integrated with the infotainment system. When you press it, it goes all the way up. When you press it again, it closes and goes all the way down. That's another powerful thing about having a software-based vehicle, is they're able to make upgrades after the fact. So if $300 Tesla will come to your house and install a powered trunk. So you got to think to yourself, is it worth you spending the $54,000 or try to get the $18,000 to $25,000 Model 3? And the nice thing is you're able to do some things from the factory, quality upgrades that will make it closer to the newer model. So that's one thing that I really like. Also, these are the new tail lights. It's all one piece, really nice, aggressive look. And these are the old tail lights, and they just look old. But with all this talk about new, old, new, it makes me very hungry, and I don't have time to eat a long lunch, and that's why today's video sponsor is Factor. Factor makes meeting your nutrition goals easier than ever by delivering fresh, never frozen, dietitian-approved meals right to your doorstep. Their team of gourmet chefs create each meal using only ingredients with integrity to help you feel your best all day long. Factor offsets 100% of their delivery emissions by sourcing 100% renewable electricity for their production sites, offices, and features sustainably sourced seafood in their meals. This October, get Factor and enjoy eating well without the hassle. Simply choose your meals and enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals delivered to your door, ready in just 2 minutes, no prep, no mess. Factor has sponsored my channel before, and after the sponsorship, I continued using it for 6 months because it's so convenient for lunch being ready in 2 minutes and it's something healthy. Having kids makes meal prep really hard, but always having a Factor in the fridge has been helpful on those busy nights. So head to factor75.com or click the link and use code Gjeebs50 to get 50% off your first Factor box. You're going to buy food in the next week, so give this a shot, and if you don't like it, then don't order it again. It's that simple. Again, it's factor75.com, code Gjeebs50 for 50% off your first meal. So we did the efficiency test, and the results are a mess. So this Model 3, the 2020, the older one, the less aerodynamic, the less efficient model, was 107% efficiency, 15.8 miles of range used, 3.92 kilowatt hours at an average of 243 watt hours per mile. In comparison to the brand new Model 3, 98% efficiency, 16.44 miles used, 4.20 kilowatt hours at an average of 260 watt hours per mile. So that was a mix of city and highway driving. I was behind the driver of this the entire time, so that's possibly what skewed the results, but that's what happened. So despite this being a newer model, there are some situations where this is still just as efficient, if not more efficient. Depends if you're behind a car or not. So that was the real world results that I just got. Now, on the highway, I expect this to deliver on its range much better than this would. That was one of my complaints with my Tesla Model Y, was the fact that it wasn't delivering anywhere near its range on the highway. You're looking at like 70% of its range, whereas these newer Tesla Model 3s, because of the tighter EPA standards, I think, they're delivering or exceeding on their range. So that was what we got in the efficiency test. But now let's do a sound test with a decibel meter to see if there is a difference in cabin noise on the old Model 3 compared to the new Model 3. Now this Model 3, 3.1 to 60, still remarkably fast, all-wheel drive. And the other thing we didn't talk about is that Model 3 has a staggered wheel setup. This is a square setup, so you're able to rotate the tires all around. Probably get a little more life out of your tires. So that is another difference between the two. But I can tell you, having driven my Model 3 around, it is so much smoother and more comfortable. The spring rate, everything is better because it's an adaptive suspension. It has 3 different settings in the new Model 3. It's just much quieter. I think we're going to test the quietness in a second here, but much quieter and better over rough surfaces. So that is a blatant difference. Now, because of the price difference in the two of these, you could say, well, I'm going to get an older one and then I'll have a bunch of money to do aftermarket things. I can put lighter wheels on it. I can put coilover suspension so I can lower and raise the height and softness and all that stuff. So you just have to pick what you kind of want to do, but it is pretty shocking when you get in this, just the noise. The NVH in this car is much higher than the new one. So driving them back to back, you can really tell the differences. There's also slightly less bezel on the newer screen, this being the older screen. Again, this still looks good. We have another software update coming, but just some minor differences. All right, so new Model 3, even driving it at 5 miles per hour through a parking lot, immediately feels better. The NVH is less. The cabin noise has to be significantly less in here, but the feel of the car has a much more sophisticated feeling and expensive feeling suspension. And I love the fact that they made it an adaptive suspension. Now, earlier I said that it had 3 different suspension settings, but here it shows only 2. The third setting comes in track mode. It puts its car in its most aggressive setting and just really firms it up. So that's where the third one comes from. But yeah, it's better in every single way. And they were able to give you more power out of turns by having a staggered wheel setup. So having those fat rear tires really helps you put the power down and give you a more rear drive bias out of turns if you're taking it on the track or in canyons or anything like that. So now let's do a sound test. So pretty significant results here. An average of 66 decibels for the old Model 3 and an average of 63 decibels for the new Model 3 with a max of 65 and a max of 68 in the old one. And I can also tell you, you can hear a massive difference. Normally I use my decibel meter for doing these types of tests, but unfortunately, I left it at your mom's house last night. So the new Model 3 is nicer in just about every single way. And my advice to anyone looking to purchase a car is always Do not stretch yourself financially and play the long game. Get the car that you actually want. But if you're looking for a performance bargain that you can add parts to make it feel or perform like the newer model or get closer to that, getting this for under $25,000, 3.1 to 60, using Tesla's charging network across the country, minimal maintenance, it's an incredible value. So thank you to Factor for sponsoring this video, and check out this video right here where I show you a bunch of performance accessories I've tested for years. Click this video right here, you'll really enjoy it.